The loudest heartbreak is the one that comes with no sound at all. Let's get one thing straight from the very beginning. When a man ignores you, it is not some mysterious accident or a strange glitch in the universe. No, it is a choice, a silent one, yes, but a choice all the same. And I know that silence hits different. It is not just an unanswered text or a missed call. It is that heavy quiet that settles in after you have poured your whole heart out, and he just leaves it floating in the air like it never mattered, like you never mattered. That kind of silence cuts deeper than any word ever could. Now, before we go deeper into what this really means, do me one quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay right here with me. I promise you, by the time we reach the end, you are not just going to understand his silence. You are going to see yourself in a completely new light. So stay with me, because this is the kind of truth that changes everything. And trust me, you do not want to miss a single word of what comes next. Keep watching, because it only gets more powerful from here. Ladies, picture this. You are baking your favorite chocolate cake. You followed the recipe. You poured your time, your energy, your love into every single step. You set the oven and you wait. But when the timer goes off and you open that door, the cake is still raw. You did everything right. You followed every instruction, and yet somehow it still did not rise. That is exactly what it feels like when you invest yourself in someone who does not return that energy. You show up, you give your best, you do everything right, and still nothing. That silence, that ignored message, it is like an oven that refuses to heat up no matter how many times you reset it. Now, some of you might say, maybe he is just busy, maybe he is under pressure, maybe he truly did not see the message. Let me stop you right there. We live in a world where people carry their phones like they carry air to breathe. If he can scroll through videos, post something online, or like someone else's picture, he saw your message. He chose not to respond. And yes, that hurts deeply. It feels personal. It makes you feel like you are not enough. But here is the truth you need to hear today. Being ignored by someone does not say a single thing about your worth, but it screams everything about theirs. Read that again. Let it sink in. You deserve real effort. You deserve someone who does not hesitate when it comes to you. Silence from a man who once showed interest can feel like betrayal. But sometimes that silence is actually doing you a favor. It is pulling back the curtain and showing you what was never truly there. And let us be honest, some of us have fallen in love with what a man could be, not what he actually is. We fell for the potential, the dream, the version of him we built in our minds. And his silence, it wakes us up from that beautiful lie. There is a saying I love deeply. If you have to wonder whether someone wants you in their life, they probably do not. That one stings, I know. But sometimes the truth has to sting before it sets you free. The sooner you face it, the sooner you stop pouring your heart into an empty cup and start building a life that truly fulfills you. Stay with me, because we are just getting started, and it gets even more real from here. Now, do not get it twisted. This is not about anger. This is not about revenge or trying to get back at him. This is about clarity, power, growth. This is about knowing your value so deeply, so completely, that silence no longer makes you question yourself. Instead, it makes you question why you were ever available to that kind of treatment in the first place. You are not here to chase breadcrumbs. You were made to feast at the table of real love, genuine respect, and equal effort. That is the standard. And if someone cannot meet it, let them walk away. Because the man who truly wants to be in your life will not keep you guessing. He will not go quiet when things get difficult. He will show up loudly, consistently, proudly, without being asked twice. So if you have been sitting there wondering what his silence means, you are in exactly the right place. Stay with me, because we are about to break it all the way down. And I guarantee, once we are done, you will not be the one sitting in silence anymore. You will be the one walking forward, head high, heart whole, knowing exactly who you are and what you deserve. Some wounds do not bleed, they echo, and silence is the loudest wound of all. Let us not sugarcoat this one bit. Being ignored by someone you genuinely care about, that is real pain, deep pain. And the worst part is there is no scar, no mark, nothing that anyone else can see from the outside. You just sit there smiling in public while something inside you is quietly falling apart. It is like shouting into a wide open canyon and hearing absolutely nothing come back, not even your own echo. Picture this, you are standing at a train station, you have packed your bags, planned your whole journey, bought your ticket, the train is supposed to come. You check the schedule again and again and again, but the platform stays completely empty. No announcement, no explanation, just silence. And you start to wonder, did I miss it? Did it already leave without me? Was it ever coming at all? That is what it feels like when someone simply stops replying. You are left questioning everything. Was I too much? Too little? Did I say the wrong thing? And those questions, they do not whisper. They scream at you at 2 a.m, and they do not stop. What did I do wrong? Why can he not just tell me? Was I ever even enough for him to care? But here is something powerful that most people do not know. Research shows that being ignored actually activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. That cold, heavy silence is not just you being overly sensitive. Your body is literally processing it the same way it would process getting hurt. And we wonder why it feels like our chest is caving in over one unanswered message. Let me be very straight with you. Ignoring someone is not harmless. It is not passive. It is emotional warfare with a quiet face. It is pretending someone does not exist while knowing exactly how deeply it will tear them apart. It is like handing someone a glass of water in the middle of a desert and then pouring it into the sand right in front of them. But here is what nobody tells you. You are allowed to hurt, but you were not made to stay broken. Pain is real, but so is your power, so is your strength, so is your ability to rise, to rebuild, to refuse to beg for someone who cannot be bothered to simply reply. Let this be your turning point, not your breakdown, your breakthrough. Keep watching. When a man goes quiet on you, it is not a puzzle you are supposed to spend your energy solving. It is not a riddle. It is not a test. It is an answer. And it is loud, even when it says absolutely nothing. Now you might be sitting there thinking, maybe he is just going through something heavy. Maybe he is afraid of how deep things are getting. Maybe he just does not know how to communicate his feelings properly. And sure, those things are possible. But let me give you something harder to hold on to. The man who truly wants you will not make you guess. He will not. Let me paint this picture clearly. You are trying to light a candle. You strike the match once. No flame. You try again. Nothing. Again. Still nothing. How many times do you burn your fingers before you accept that the match is not the problem? The wick simply does not want to be lit. That is what it is like when you keep reaching out, keep waiting, keep hoping, and all you receive is silence. You are not going crazy. You are just trying to light something that was never meant to burn for you. So stop striking the match. Why does a man ignore a woman? There are really only 2 honest reasons, and let us not dress them up in pretty language. The first reason is that he is genuinely hurt. Now this one is rare, and if it is real, you will know it. If you did something that truly wounded him and he cared deeply, his silence might be his way of working through that pain. But even in that case, you will feel the weight of what happened. You will know what you did. He will not just leave you completely in the dark. The second reason, and this is the most common one by far, is simply that he is not that interested in you. Maybe he was for a little while. Maybe the connection felt exciting or easy or fun at first. But when things started getting real, when emotions got deeper and the situation got more serious, he disappeared. Not because you scared him away, not because you were not enough, but because his interest was never that strong to begin with. And that is the part that hurts the most. Because we have been taught that if we try harder, love louder, wait longer, we can change that. But that is not your job. You are not a place for half-hearted men to come and heal themselves. You are a whole experience, a complete, powerful, beautiful experience. So hear me clearly when I say this. If he is unsure about you, do not waste a single drop of your energy trying to convince him. The man who is truly meant for you will know without silence, without games, without delay. And stay with me, because next we are going to expose all the excuses we make for men who go quiet. And once you see it clearly, you will never make those excuses again. Now let us stop pretending. When a man goes quiet, we start writing an entire book of reasons for him. Maybe his phone battery died. Maybe he is overwhelmed with life. Maybe he is just not a texter. Maybe he needs space to process things. Let us cut straight through all of that. If he cared, you would not be wondering. Silence is not a romantic puzzle meant for you to figure out. It is not some deep emotional strategy. It is not him being complex or hard to read in an attractive way. It is him showing you, without using a single word, exactly where you stand with him. And that is a message all by itself. Now listen, life does get difficult for everyone. We all go through hard seasons, but being stressed does not stop someone from sending a quick message that says, hey, I have a lot going on right now, but I am thinking about you. Pressure does not erase someone's ability to show up, even in the smallest ways. What keeps a man away is not stress. It is not being busy. It is simply not caring enough to reach out. Because love does not go quiet, not real love. Real love leans in when things get messy. Real love communicates. Real love does not hide behind a seen notification or a missed call log. Fear hides there, confusion hides there, immaturity hides there. But love does not, so stop giving his silence a depth it does not deserve. Stop turning it into something meaningful and mysterious. Sometimes silence is not deep at all. It is just empty. And knowing that is not sad. It is freeing. Stay with me, because up next we are going to talk about exactly how a woman who truly knows her worth responds when silence walks through the door. Take notes. A woman who truly knows her worth never has to raise her voice to be heard. Her silence carries more weight than his ever could. Let us be completely straight here. A woman with real self-worth does not chase. She does not beg. She does not plead or shrink herself down just to keep someone who is already halfway gone. She does not lose herself trying to be enough for a man who cannot even show up properly. When he goes silent, she does not fall to pieces. She steps back. Gracefully, powerfully, without apology. Picture a queen seated on her throne. A man rides off into the storm without a single word. Does she run after him through the rain begging for an explanation? No. She stays right where she is, head high, dignity untouched. She lets him make his choice and come back on his own terms, or not come back at all, because a woman who knows her value does not chase energy. She matches it. If he stops calling, she does not call twice. If he stops showing up, she does not wait by the door. If he pulls away, she does not reach further. She simply mirrors the energy she receives, not to play games, but to protect her peace. Her silence in those moments is not petty. It is not revenge. It is not giving him a taste of his own medicine. No, it is wisdom. It is her quiet way of saying, I value myself far too much to argue with your absence. And here is something that most women do not fully realize. If he was ever truly interested, her stillness will communicate more than any message ever could. Because men do not wake up missing the woman who chased them endlessly. They wake up haunted by the one who was strong enough to know when to walk away. So if he pulls back, let him. Do not flinch, do not fold, do not shrink. Simply adjust your crown. Reclaim every single piece of your power and remind yourself that your worth does not move for anyone. Now stay close, because next we are flipping the mirror completely and looking at what his silence actually reveals about him. And I promise you, you have been looking at this the wrong way all along. Keep watching. When a man ignores you, the first thing you do is turn it inward. Did I say too much? Was I too emotional, too available, not interesting enough? But here is something nobody says out loud. His silence is not always about you. Most of the time it is entirely about him. It is a clear window into his emotional maturity, or more accurately, the lack of it. Because silence is not just the absence of words, it is often the absence of courage. When a man disappears without any explanation, he is not being mysterious or deep or complicated. He is being avoidant. And that silence is him telling you without words, I do not know how to manage my own emotions. I do not know how to communicate like an adult. I do not respect myself or you enough to be honest. Because a man who genuinely respects himself does not leave things open and unresolved. He does not ghost people. He communicates. He faces the uncomfortable conversations. He takes ownership of his feelings, even the messy and confusing ones. He does not run from them. Think of it this way. Someone hands you a beautiful glass sculpture. Delicate, priceless, stunning. A real man holds it with steady hands, with care, with full awareness of its value. But a boy drops it the moment it feels too heavy to carry. That is what silence is. It is a drop, a retreat, a signal that the honest weight of a real connection was simply too much for him to hold. And let us be absolutely clear about something. Disappearing without a word is not strength. It is not maturity. It is not even neutral. It is weakness dressed up in fake peace. It is an emotional hit and run. He gets to leave clean while you are standing there picking up every broken piece. But here is the freedom in all of this. His silence is not rejection, it is a revelation. It shows you the ceiling of his character. It tells you exactly how far he is capable of going in a relationship. And the most beautiful part of that? Now you know, you did not lose anything real, you just learned something priceless. Stay with me. There comes a point where the most powerful move you can make is not sending another message. It is not explaining yourself one more time. It is not trying even harder. The most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away. Not with drama, not with anger, just calm, quiet, unshakable confidence. And that kind of silence, your silence, it speaks volumes that words never could. The moment you stop reaching for him, something shifts. He starts to feel your absence. Not your words, not your emotions, your actual absence. The space you used to fill suddenly becomes very real to him. And in that quiet, he begins to understand what he had. But by that time, you are already gone, already moving forward, already rising. And here is a truth that will stick with you. You teach people how to treat you every single time you respond to how they treat you. If someone disappears and you run straight back to them, they learn that disappearing works. If someone goes quiet and you reach out again and again, they understand you will tolerate less than you deserve. But the moment you respond to silence with stillness, with self-respect, with total peace, that is when they truly realize what they were dealing with. Do not send one more message. Do not post something online hoping he notices. Do not whisper his name into the air. Walk quieter, walk stronger, walk with complete focus on your own path forward. Because when you move in silence with purpose, your power does not just grow, it multiplies. And while he sits there wondering where you went, you will be far too busy becoming the best version of yourself to even look back. And speaking of becoming your best self, stay right here because in the next part, we are talking about what you were truly born to receive. And once you hear it clearly, once it lands the way it is supposed to, you will never again settle for anything less. Here is what I need you to hear loud and clear. You do not need to earn attention. You deserve it. You do not need to shrink yourself, twist yourself into someone unrecognizable, or chase a man who cannot even send back a simple reply. That is not love. That is survival mode. And you were not created to simply survive. You were created to thrive, to live fully, to be chosen loudly and without hesitation. Never fight for the bare minimum, not even once. If all someone is offering you is silence, confusion, and half-hearted crumbs of effort, walk away like you own every inch of the road you are standing on, because you do. There are men out there, good men, real men, who are quietly hoping for a woman exactly like you. A woman with depth, with warmth, with strength and softness living side by side. A woman who does not just make a room brighter when she walks in. She is the light herself. But the longer you hold on to someone who cannot see that, the longer you are standing in the way of the one who will see it immediately. You cannot heal in a place that keeps opening the same wound. You cannot grow in a garden where no one bothers to water you. So stop grieving the man who could not value what you gave him, and start preparing yourself for the man who will protect it like it is sacred. And let me say this plainly, you are not hard to love. You have simply been offering your heart to people too broken, too afraid, or too small to hold it properly. That is not your failure. That is your signal to raise your standards completely. I know it is hard to believe this when you are sitting inside the silence, when it is heavy and loud and consuming all of your thoughts. But hear me when I say this with everything I have. His leaving was not your loss. It was your redirection. His silence was not a punishment handed down to you. It is a hidden blessing wrapped tightly inside disappointment. And if you can find the strength to see it that way, it will lead you precisely where you are supposed to be going. Because when someone walks away from you, they are not stealing something from you. They are making space for real peace, space for honest love, space for a man who is not confused about how he feels, space for a love that does not go missing when things get hard or real or deep. You have been begging the universe for clarity for so long, and life just handed it to you, quietly but completely. So do not hold on to resentment for him going silent. Choose to feel something else entirely, because he freed you. He released you from the weight of waiting, from the exhausting cycle of doubting yourself and overthinking every single interaction. He freed you to finally walk towards someone who will look at you and say, I see you, I choose you, I am not going anywhere. You are not a victim of his silence, you are a survivor of it. And now you are something even greater than that. You are a woman walking forward with open eyes, a full heart, and complete clarity about what she will and will not accept. So straighten your posture, lift your head, move forward with purpose and with peace. Not bitter, better, not empty, expectant, because something greater is on its way to you. Someone greater is coming. And when he arrives, when he shows up the way a real man shows up, fully and without hesitation, you will look back at that silence and feel nothing but gratitude, because that silence cleared the path. It removed what was not meant for you, so that what is truly meant for you could finally find its way in. So if you have stayed with me this far, you already know deep down that you deserve more than silence. You deserve presence. You deserve consistent love. You deserve effort that does not vanish the moment things get real. Never settle for being someone's option when you were born to be someone's absolute choice. Your value does not go down because someone could not see it clearly. It just means they were never the right one to carry it. If this spoke to your heart today, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear every single word.